just might not happen tonight?
I mean, you're down 13, you've been in those spots. You never really think that. You just say, they played really well. And there's part of me that, I'm so thankful and excited and happy how our guys showed resiliency and finished, but I also feel some pain for them or compassion for them. I thought Adele, we had a hard time handling him, Spalding, and Quentin Schneider, and all their guys. They played so hard and they played well. But didn't really answer your question, but I thought if we just kept plugging, it was there. 0.9 with the ball. I did tell the ref, I think he might think this is a move. Watch his feet. He may travel, and I feel bad that he did it. But DeAndre said he called Banks, so then we'll take it. So, but guys had to make some tough shots. Of course, there's some you need things to break right, and they did for us. But we kept plugging. But, of course, a good win. But I know how hard of a loss that is for Louisville because of how well they played throughout that.
Sam?
I'm not even sure if he had the time out there, but he had a little bit of time to kind of set up a play. What was kind of, for the 0.9 seconds, was that what you wanted?
Well, I first asked the ref, I want to make sure, do we have time to catch and shoot? And I know it's 0.4, I think, or I don't know.
0.9.
No, I mean 0.4 where you can't catch and shoot, or you can at 0.4 and above. I got to get that right. That's why I asked. But I just wanted to put that in his head. We can catch and shoot. And, we had an action. We were trying to get a slip. But, Isaiah said something. He said, hey, listen, he told Dre, they defended it well, so we kind of had an action and then a counter. And, again, he hit a really tough shot, and that was it. But that, at least to set up a kind of a play that we call, and we'll take it.
Tony, to go 9-0 on the road in the ACC, the first team ever, what does that kind of say about this group? And can, a win like this and a kind of a type of atmosphere translate to the postseason where you guys are headed?
You hope so. It's again, there hasn't always been 9 road games, so I'm sure, I don't know if other teams have gone undefeated.
No.
Okay, so, but a really good accomplishment, really, to do it in this league, in this setting, and it didn't look promising, but you have to go in and play. The parity in this league, there's not a lot of separation regardless of records. We know that, and you got to play. And we were in some tough situations where we were down at Florida State, down here, and we've had to make some. It comes down to making plays, and that happened today. But I'm very thankful, and now we go back and have one last regular season game at our place.
Obviously, Ty and DeAndre hit big shots at the end, but you guys did not shoot particularly well. You got back into it driving to the rim.
Yep.
Is that something you talked to them about? Hey,
yeah.
Get in there?
Well, we tried to open the floor some. To start the game, we missed 3 or 4 free throws in the first half, 3 or 4 layups. They were right there, some shots. We just weren't there. And that was a little concerning, but what was more concerning is, they're good one-on-one players. I mean, they attacked and they hit some tough shots, and then some shots they hit where we weren't in position or didn't guard it the way we should. And they stretched us out and got to the paint and did some things that were tough for us. So I was more concerned or disappointed that we weren't putting up a better fight defensively. I always can live with tough contested shots made, but I didn't feel we were doing that consistently enough to be in that game. And then Ty gets that first offensive foul where he, held, and that was troublesome because that cost us a little bit. But again, it was it was attacking and plays made off the bounce that certainly were there, and enough big threes.
Take one in the back, the other in the front.
Is this the most improbable win you've ever had as a coach?
Well, I don't know how many years ago you guys have been. We were at Wake Forest. That might have been more improbable. What would you say?
Yeah.
You guys, that was probably more improbable at Wake Forest a few years ago, and it was kind of a bank shot, or I don't know if it hit. Was it? Yeah, in the corner, in the dead corner. That might have been more improbable, as crazy as that sounds. So, but it just, things happen. You don't know, and it's unfortunate the young man traveled, but I've seen that happen a lot, and so that's why you just keep playing until the buzzer goes off for real.
Have you watched any of the other ACC games this week? Any flashbacks since to any of these other buzzer beaters?
You know what? I saw the Newton's buzzer beater, the heck of a one-footer from like 35. Were there some other ones?
Well, I guess there was the Duke missed at Virginia Tech, and also.
Oh yeah, that's right. Actually, I did see the end of that. It was a air ball, and then he tapped it back in. So, yeah.
Jerry.
Could you see something in Ty's eyes or something? He had like 18 points in the second half and just kept attacking.
Yeah, I saw there was no foul trouble, and he was happy to be out there once that he was in foul trouble. And then I said, okay, and we said we got to get him back with, he had 3, and we just said the game was starting to separate. And you know how important. You've watched us. He kind of makes things go, and he was aggressive. So obviously he had a big second half, and he's done that on more than one occasion for us late in games and second halves.
Take one far right here, second.
Through everything that was happening in the second half, I mean, how did you keep your team kind of focused and just say, okay, we're down by 13, now we're down by 5, and just really stay with it?
Just try to, we said, get a stop and a score, and just not give anything easy. And that wasn't happening. A couple times we had a chance, and the ball we possessed the ball, then there was a foul on Mominy. We possessed the ball, and then it went off our foot. And then one time it just seemed like we couldn't hold possession. There's a few unfortunate plays, but that's one good thing about this group of guys. They keep playing. They just keep trying to get quality looks, and it's a kind of a score-stop mentality, or a O to D possession, or D to O, and that's just kind of don't look at it much past that.
There's something about this building, it seems like every time you come in here, it's...
We lost on a bank shot.
Right.
Remember?
At the honest.
It was a swish? Okay, I got bank on the brain. Sorry, you can't blame me. But, yeah, that's right, it was. Actually, we bothered it, and he shot it up higher. We lost on that shot. So I remember that, but we've had some good performances. I didn't mean to cut you short. Was that the question, or just the...
Right.
Okay.
Mike.
Sorry, odd time, but can you just speak to what Devin and Isaiah have brought to you in the time you've been with them?
Terrific, great leaders. This team is, every team you try to play really hard and smart and together, but the leadership, we've been fortunate to have that over the years. But those guys, as I said, they started out as role players. Devin a red shirt, and just kind of every step they got better, earned more and more, and they are so bought in. I said they're owners in this house, and it matters so much to them, and they hold guys accountable, and they encourage. Couldn't ask for better leaders, and I'm so glad to see how it's gone for them.
You hurt his thumb in the
Yeah, I didn't check on that. Obviously, he played, but I don't know if he. We'll find out.
DeAndre had one too.
That was, when was that from? Yeah. So DeAndre had rolled his ankle in practice. That's why we weren't sure about him the day before, but obviously it was okay.
Did he something on his wrist, though? He kind of had it taped up.
I thought he did last game, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he just sprained his thumb, and
Okay.
I don't think it was. Yep.
Thanks very much, Will.
Thank you.